Oh, hey, buddy.
Oh, they don't open like that.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't trying to do a specific thing. I was just
Hi.
hi.
Give me a moment's peace and take out the trash.
We pay taxes for people to come and take the garbage.
Hey, listen, Greenie, no more sneaking rides to the junkyard.
Yeah, man, take a taxi when you want to go to the junkyard.
Welcome to Hot Trash Unlimited, the show where me, Joe,
And me, Alex. I had to remember that.
go to the cinema to find out whether a movie has the potential to be hot trash or not. Alex, what did we go see this week?
We saw Uncharted.
Everything in here. Why the map?
It's the biggest treasure that's never been found.
5 billion, easy.
But it's just a story.
I beg to differ.
"500 years ago, my family found the world's biggest fortune, then was betrayed. People have been searching for it all in vain.
Both you turn your keys clockwise at the same time. Thanks a lot. You almost got me killed.
Clockwise, Sully!
Da 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 da.
Da da da. Boom boom.
So Caleb did go see this with us too. Caleb, you know, the guy who this is his podcast after all.
He is sitting out because I mean I might be getting wrong, and he is within earshot of us. I think he has the tamest opinion of all of us.
He doesn't have the attachment to the video game franchise like we do, so he just doesn't have strong opinions towards this one. He thinks it's fine, basically, at the end of the day. Which would make for a good episode, but me and Alex, on the other hand, are Uncharted fans.
We are Uncharted, really.
Our opinions are Uncharted on this movie. So this movie is an adaptation of the Uncharted video games, following Nathan Drake and Victor, not goddamn Sullivan. No goddamn in this movie.
Victor gosh dang Sullivan.
Victor, wow, Sullivan. Victor, oh no, Sullivan. And their treasure hunting adventures, played by Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg, which I think is everyone who even like cares about this movie's number one apprehension going into it.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, I'll get into that later, but like that's my biggest issue with it.
And you know, video game movies rarely, if ever, do well. I think there's what? Let me go for 3 off the top of my head. I don't even know if I can make 3.
Okay.
Detective Pikachu is great.
Yes.
Sonic is good.
Yes.
I'm out.
Destiny, if you're listening, I will give you a Prince of Persia. Though I don't think
I think that one's okay. I think that one's more of a like it's decent.
I don't remember a single thing, so
I've never seen it. So
oh well, there you go.
That is to say, there's many more. There's like 7 Resident Evil movies that no one likes. There's an Assassin's Creed movie that no one likes.
Oh yeah, I don't know how I never saw that.
There's 3 Tomb
I'm
Raider
a big
movies.
AC fan, and I never even tried to see it. But
there's 3 Tomb Raider movies that no one really cares about.
I think like the first one's okay.
Angelina Jolie.
I turned the second one off after like 20 minutes. Third one was fine. I watched it on a plane and I was very bored.
Yeah, you know, World of Warcraft has a movie. No one cares about it. They don't have a good track record, which is to say, on top of the casting and then just video game movies in general not being great, and the fact that I don't know if you knew this movie's been in production hell since Uncharted 1.
What?
Yeah.
No, I had no idea about that.
Yeah.
Wait, when did 1 come out?
2007.
It took 15 years for this?
In the making.
Okay.
I think in this
now
movie,
I think a little less of the movie.
I'm trying to think who was signed on for. I know Shane Black was signed on to direct at one point. He did Iron Man 3.
Interesting.
I think this movie was tied with the Flash movie coming out with how many directors were attached to it at one point. Yeah.
15 years.
Yeah.
It's like Uncharted the movie, Halo the series. Never doing anything until 2022.
Hand in hand. So how do I even synopsize this movie?
I was about to say, where do we start?
Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg going on a grand adventure.
This movie starts off with the Uncharted 3 falling out of the back of the plane thing.
My favorite moment in the Uncharted franchise. It also opens up with, oh gosh, I'm so sorry I punched you, sir. I'm Tom Holland.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Oh, he's falling to his death.
Oh, that guy got smacked in the head by the box. His neck is gone.
Wow.
Wowie. And then this flashes to the Uncharted 4 prequel story with Sam and Baby Drake.
Oh yeah, and it's like basically the same thing, right?
Yeah, and then after that, except for the Uncharted 3 plane sequence that is in the middle of this movie, it's Uncharted 4. Except it's also Nate and Sully's backstory from 3, but not.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the weird thing about this movie is like a whole just hodgepodge, the right word?
Yeah, that's right.
Of just like different moments throughout the games.
Yeah.
Which like on a basic level, I do like that because it's nice to see those go to the big screen. But it's weird because they do sometimes feel like they were just shoehorned in.
Well, and it's also framed on a prequel, like as a, this is how they met. And here's like the grandest moments from later in the franchise. That's throwing me off a little bit, but like the set pieces work. They work in the games. They work here. And then it's just Nate and Sully meet. Oh, now they meet Chloe. No one trusts each other.
When you saw the blonde girl that he took the
did I think it was Elena?
Yeah, did you?
Yeah, I was like, they're doing Elena.
Do you think that's gonna be her in the second one?
It might be. It might. I immediately thought this is gonna be Elena.
She's gonna come back in the second movie and be like, "Hey, I know you. You're that guy who took the bracelet from
Yeah,
me."
Tom, you know how to shoot a gun? Yeah, it's like a camera, point and shoot.
And they meet on a boat, surrounded by pirates.
Yar.
Yar.
Yeah, it's a hodgepodge of all these moments, framed by what I think is the worst aspect of the movie, the worst connecting point between everybody. Mark Wahlberg is Sully.
Yes, and it's not even a thing like against him particularly. It's the choice of using him.
Mm-hmm.
I think as an actor, like he's fine. He has a role that he does.
He has a type that he goes for.
Yeah, and he does that type like pretty well.
Yeah.
Like there's a reason he gets thrown around so much. My biggest issue is the fact that like I think this movie could have been great if like visually it was much more like the games. Like if they did a better job with the casting of like finding someone who like gave off the charisma and the chemistry between the two characters, I would go as far as to say like, yeah, while some parts of this movie are like kind of generic and your typical like adventure movie stuff, like I think it could have been pretty great.
I agree with you.
I did enjoy the movie.
I agree with you,
I would have
too.
enjoyed it far more if it looked like Uncharted 2.
Uncharted as well.
Not Uncharted
2.
Give me those low poly faces, baby.
No, I agree with you. I think this movie, I'll go as far to say Tom Holland is trying. He's just really miscast.
I think he's pretty good.
I think he's putting in good. I just, even with that opening line, I'm sorry, sir. Like that whole thing. Like he looks like a boy, but like they're doing him as a 25-year-old and it kind of works. But at some points it doesn't. Like he acts a little too young, but he kind of has like that young Nate energy, but just as a young boy, and it kind of works. But I would just like, I was wanting like a grown up in his prime Nate, and then Sully just doesn't work in any way, shape, or form.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, and then Chloe's fine.
Yeah, she's okay for being Chloe.
Yeah. I like how they give reasoning to his freakish upper body strength by just him climbing ropes like constantly, like as practice. We gotta have a reason for it, guys.
The thing I liked about him, this movie made me realize, and I'm struggling to think of an example, but it made me realize the both of those characters have a certain like cadence in the way that they speak to each other and the way they banter.
Yeah.
And I was actually really surprised by like how well it worked, because I was very much worried the entire thing was going to be just Peter Parker in an Uncharted skin.
Yeah.
But like some of the lines and some of the deliveries, just like they do feel and sound like Nathan Drake.
Yeah, they sound like something he would say.
Yeah.
I think this movie has like all of it there. It's really just missing like the charm, the full charm that is in Uncharted from the way the characters interact.
Yeah.
Is just not there in the rest of the movie. And some are trying. Some are doing a better job than others. Mark Wahlberg's really the only one that's like underperforming here. And he's like, and the problem is everybody is known through him. He is the connecting force between all these characters.
Yeah.
Everybody hates him, and you get it why. He's awful. There's nothing redeeming about him. There's literally nothing redeeming about him.
And that's the part that sucks so much, because like Sully is such a character that's like, he does kind of suck as a human being,
but he's very
also
lovable.
really fun and endearing, and he has like good qualities about him.
But this guy isn't.
All of that is just thrown out the window.
You understand why the bad guys want to kill him. You don't really get why Nate keeps coming back to him, because they keep talking. No one trusts anyone, and it gets really annoying because like, you're going to double cross me, and they don't double cross. But then the other person does double cross.
You didn't like how Chloe double crossed Nate, and then within like 15 minutes, she was just like, they were back together.
Yeah. She's like, wait, I disagree with this double crossing on a moral level. Solely when they're like, I'm not going to drop you the key. You're going to double cross me and keep the key. I'm in a Papa John's.
That might be my favorite instance of product placement.
I'm in a random Papa John's.
I'm in a Papa John's in Italy. Wait, were they in Italy? No, where were they?
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Oh, whatever.
Europe.
Europe.
I don't know her name, but she's in a lot of CW stuff, and she was in Sabrina, the villain in this. I need to look.
Oh, I was literally just about to bring up the villain.
This is kind of the type that she plays to.
Mhm.
Like of just like the hard girl, like basically.
Yeah.
Where she's like not
She's
so
the
much
boss lady.
Yeah, not
She's
so
the one
much
in charge.
not quite like the other girls, but like she's just
I'm not like all the other Antonio Banderases.
yeah, what is her name? Tati Gabriel. Tati Gabriel.
Oh, I think I've heard her name before.
I've been seeing her a
Okay.
lot more lately, and she's been like pretty good. And she's good in this as a good villain. You know,
Yeah.
the Uncharted villains were never like amazing, but I think she fits right in with the rest of these guys.
Well, the funny thing is they introduce her before they introduce Antonio Banderas,
Mhm.
and you're like, oh, she's the villain.
Yeah.
She's gonna be the villain. The weird thing is they like play with the idea that Antonio Banderas is the real villain.
I'll even go as far to say he's doing a good job at the auction house.
Yeah,
There-
yeah.
So much blood. Like, he's putting in like a really good Antonio Banderas where he's whispering, and I am the sexiest man alive.
I really liked him because he does give off the vibe that some of the villains in Uncharted have, where like, yeah, he's the bad guy, but he's also like he's kind of fun.
Yeah. Well, it's Antonio Banderas.
He's
and
enjoyable to watch, and it makes sense why he's going out on this adventure.
And that's my
but-
problem. He is really good in the auction house scene, and it's like another half hour before you see him again, and the ham is just not there.
Yeah.
And I was like, Antonio, you're so good at hamming stuff up.
Mhm.
And he doesn't, and then he dies, and I'm like, well, nothing of value was lost. I want to be sad that Antonio Banderas isn't in this movie anymore, but he wasn't doing anything to make me like him.
That's fair.
Do you like the school play red line that was across his neck when they slit his throat?
Oh, with no blood on the
They were trying real hard to keep that
This movie is-
PG-13 as PG as they could.
I was about to say this movie is rated E10 plus.
He was sitting there for a while, then he's looking at, like, they're looking at him from above, and there's just
Well,
like the tiniest.
That was the funny thing is like a couple minutes went by before they like actually showed him lying dead on
Yeah.
the ground.
It's like there
And
should
then
be
you
a
see
pool.
It's literally just they put makeup on his neck and that was it.
Nothing else. I kept wanting to say things that this movie missed the opportunity to do, but then they did it. Like they kept doing it right as I thought they weren't going to do something. Like,
Oh yeah, that's what. Yeah.
yeah, and I was like, Nate didn't have a gun for the first like 2/3 of the movie, like the first 4/5.
Oh yeah.
Which, I mean, I think that lends itself better to fun action, but it is weird, like,
Yeah.
that he's not mowing down people. But I get it; it's a PG-13 movie, and that's always been a disconnect in the games.
I just realized, did he ever have the holster?
I don't think so.
Anyway, I forgot to bring up in our villain talk, although it's not too disconnected from the villain talk, so this kind of works anyway. But there was a minor villain, a boss fight, if you will, that I think is one of my favorite things that has been introduced to
The Scottish
Uncharted.
lad.
You should not come out to play with the big boys ween. Because you're about to get a proper Scottish welcome. and I love how over the course of the movie, his accent and his speech just degrades into.
Yeah, you can't understand a thing he's saying.
Yeah, you have no idea what he's saying by the time that he has his final scene.
It's fitting that he was the last goon to die off.
Yeah,
I
pour one out.
I think this movie's final set piece with the two boats airlifted by helicopter is extremely fitting and ranks amongst the set pieces of the games.
I was actually wondering what you were thinking about that because I had so much fun.
Oh,
with
I
that
loved
scene.
it.
It's
I
so
loved it.
great.
That's perfect. That's exactly what I want out of an Uncharted movie. Just these grand set pieces that don't make sense. Like, you think about it, Drake should not be able to jump from cargo bed to cargo bed on a plane that has stuff falling out.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense physically. Neither do these boats getting airlifted by one helicopter. But I'm down.
And these massive like 10-ton boats.
Yeah, with gold, with a bunch
gold
of
in
gold.
them. It's been a while since I played these.
Mhm.
Were the boats from a game?
4.
They were from 4. Okay,
Yeah.
That game I've only played once, so it makes
Yeah.
sense that I don't quite remember it. When I saw the boats in the cave, I was like, that was definitely from a game, right?
I was
Right? Right.
My girlfriend Sarah was asking me like stuff. It's like, well, was this in the game? For the first part of it, I was like, yeah. And then they start. I know they're doing 4 stuff, and then I'm
Mhm.
thinking, I'm trying to remember 4. I'm like, 4 is just like a void in my head now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't remember any of it except for like the motorcycle scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that, and then like the rest of the game, I like don't remember it all. So I need to go back and replay it. But
Yeah, I've been meaning for an excuse to go. So that
like
makes-
that pirate ship when they finally get to the pirate ship in the cave where people would have found these years and years before.
No,
Everything about this.
That was another part of my review was just like, look, I like this movie, but also you're telling me that in the last 5 centuries, nobody found that giant hole in an island.
I mean, it's a hole and you have to swim under a little bit, so I'll give them something.
Oh, okay. I didn't remember the swimming part, but yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple things in this movie where it's like this whole treasure hunt that they go on to with the keys and stuff. They do this. These are huge caverns they're walking through, just underground a city. It's like this was never discovered.
Oh, you mean when they go underneath that church? Is that what you're
when they go
referring to?
underneath the church, and then there's just a grate that Sully's looking through and seeing them down there or whatever to then go into the room with all the salt.
I get you.
And
maybe
like,
it was just they were never explored like that thoroughly because there is that club that's down there.
Yeah. That's true.
Which, like, that'd be an awesome spot. Not gonna lie. As someone who's not into clubs, if I found out there was a club that was just like chilling underneath a church and it was just called Hell,
that club scene happened. That club scene happened, and I immediately I got thrown back to Venom Let There Be Carnage. I'm like, where's Venom? Venom should be here.
That'd be a great cameo.
Sony, come on, you got to cross them both over. There's stuff I can nitpick on, but honestly, it's the same stuff I can nitpick the games on. This is a fairly faithful adaptation of the spirit of Uncharted.
Yeah.
With Mark Wahlberg not putting in any work to even try. But overall, like a positive time.
And that's kind of what I took away from it. Is just like, you know, even though parts have varying quality, like, I mean, it's like you said, it did capture the spirit really well.
Yeah.
If and when they do Uncharted 2, I'm just hoping that like it finds a way to continue that.
My next question was going to be, do you want there to be an Uncharted 2?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I had a fun time with it.
Yeah, I had an overall positive experience with this movie too. Do I just accept there be like, let there be this okay movie? Do we want it to take another chance? Do we want to roll the dice again?
Yeah, I get that because they do so much from the games in this movie. It is kind of like, okay, what are you gonna do in 2?
But the thing they did that I like the most, the boat fight with the helicopters, is
That was
not
brand
from the
new.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if there's that same level of imagination going into new movies, and if Euron Greyjoy is going to be the bad guy of the next one, I'd be very down.
That's good.
But I have one final question for you, Alex. Actually, I have 2 final questions.
Okay.
I know what the answer to one of them is. This movie hot trash?
No, I enjoyed it.
No, yeah, it's
very much enjoyed it.
yeah,
it's fun.
it is a 6 to 7 out of 10. It is good.
Yeah.
It is not great, good,
But not bad.
You're not wasting your time seeing this.
It is a fun time on a nice afternoon.
Yeah.
Or evening.
And question number 2, much like the DC trailer we got at the beginning during the trailers where it showed all the movies coming out this year.
Oh yeah.
There was also a PlayStation Studios trailer where it flashed a bunch of their IPs. So what PlayStation game are you wanting to turn into a movie next?
Shoot, you know,
and not be good or not be great or bad, but just good.
just good.
Just good, and probably with bad casting.
Man, if they like put in a lot of effort and got like a solid writing team, a fun little like Ratchet and Clank movie would be a lot of fun.
They've done that before, but
yeah, I know, but I mean like make it good. Not great, not bad.
just good.
Just make it good.
All right, you want mine?
Yeah.
And I got my horrible casting ready too.
Okay.
God of War.
Okay.
But Kratos is Will Smith and Atreus is Jaden Smith.
Okay. All right. This is where I'm going to have to defend Uncharted a little bit. And I didn't think I'd be doing this. The casting for Uncharted is way better than what you just proposed. You just proposed something that makes me want to cry. I'll one up that question, I guess, and that is that I want to see better than good. I want to see like a great Ghost of Tsushima movie, though.
Ooh,
I think that could be adapted.
I don't think that'd be very
well
hard
into a
either.
film. No, it wouldn't.
Not nearly as hard. That's not nearly as high concept as some of these others.
Yeah.
You know, also, I'm thinking about these like weird casting choices. The Last of Us TV show is coming out, and Pedro Pascal is going to be Joel, which I'm down for, but I also just don't think that's what you like. That's who you cast for Joel.
Yeah. It's another one of those things of like, he's a good actor.
Yeah.
Why is he Joel?
Yeah. What a wild time for video game adaptations.
We're getting solid to good movies.
Yeah, I'll take
now,
it.
which is leagues better than what we've gotten in the past.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I will take it.
Yay.
Guys, thank you for joining me and Alex on this episode. Caleb will be back next time.
Joe, thank you for having me.
Thanks
this
for
is
being
fun.
here, Alex. Alex will probably be back eventually. He always
At
is.
some point.
See you then.
Bye, y'all.